UCLA, coming off a top 10 finish in 2014, narrowly missed out on the Pac-12 championship game, and that is the goal for Jim Mora and company this season. MarkRogersTV running through the Pac-12 schedules, ranking them 12 all the way up to number 1. I am a bit surprised that UCLA does not rank higher, but once doing the analysis, they come out at number 8. Here are the reasons why. I assume and go from the starting point that everyone plays everyone in the Pac-12. So they play 9 of 11 possible opponents. So I start out with everyone plays everyone. Okay, now let's figure out who they don't play. And for UCLA, it's a game against Oregon that they've lost in recent years. They don't have to play the Ducks this season. They also miss Washington. The Huskies would be a probable win, coming off an 8-6 campaign and missing their starting quarterback who's retired. We know the situation with the Huskies under Chris Peterson. They may have a rough year. So that's not much of a miss for UCLA. They would love to play Washington, but the miss against Oregon dropped them down once I did the comparison analysis against everyone else. That was number 1. Number 2, they don't play a huge out-of-conference opponent like a Michigan State, like Notre Dame, as is the case with the likes of Stanford and also USC and some other teams. Okay, so for UCLA, they play a difficult schedule. So even though it's number 8 in the Pac-12, it is still loaded. It's the Pac-12 South, possibly the best division in college football. Then out of the North, they play everyone, except, again, Washington and Oregon. And that Oregon miss helps them out considerably. Once you check out the other video posts, you will see what I mean. Also, yes, they schedule difficult non-conference games, but they're very manageable games. They're not playing Michigan State. They're not playing Notre Dame. They're playing Virginia at home. Then also 2 weeks later, after UNLV, they're playing BYU at home. So those are 2 mid-tier teams, 2 top 40 to 50 teams, not exceptional teams. Again, it's not Notre Dame, it's not Texas A&M, and it's not Michigan State like some of the teams we're comparing UCLA's schedule to. 8 toughest in the Pac-12, no Oregon, no Washington, and their toughies on the road, or in non-conference play, I should say, Virginia and BYU. The toughest stretch here, well, there's a few. As soon as they dive into Pac-12 play, you've got Arizona, you got Arizona State and Stanford consecutive weeks. And then late in the season, Utah, USC. But it's really not that difficult when you carve through the Pac-12 for a Pac-12 schedule. They've got most of the difficult ones spread out. They also go through a weak stretch, unlike anyone else in the Pac-12, where they take on Cal, Colorado, and Oregon State and Washington State 4 consecutive weeks for the Bruins. Cal, Colorado, Oregon State, Washington State. Nobody faces 4 quote-unquote layups like that out of the Pac-12 contenders. UCLA with the 8th most difficult schedule. Need to hear from Bruin fans, Pac-12 fans, college football fans, right here on Mark Rogers TV.